station. It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside ESPN's John Anderson, here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day, the Professor John Anderson Homer Hour. And I'm just not going to say anything, and I just want John Anderson, the professor, to provide more wisdom for the audience of this show, just like he tried to provide wisdom to the audience of KBN in the last few minutes. Where do you want to start with all the things that you felt necessary to say, and you can say them again?
With what? You mean the clown show that we just followed, that we just interrupted?
No, I don't think of them as a clown show, but I just that you said you had comments about certain things that people need to hear them again, but I don't know of all the ones that you said what you want to start with. I can help you.
Well, I'm just talking I'm just wondering, is it like from previous shows, or are these guys when they call us old man radio, which because you can learn stuff from us, okay? I know you like to go with the Don Hudson thing, but listen, there's important stuff here that people should know.
You're either right or wrong. It doesn't matter how old you are.
Running the football still wins games. Bill Russell would have been great in any era. Will Chamberlain would still crush people if he was out there. Joel Embiid falls down and he's out 3 to 6 weeks. Same with Anthony Davis.
Well, I believe Will Chamberlain is the greatest athlete ever. The things he did at various ages, other than just basketball, I think he's the greatest ever. Right.
He was physically the most dominant player in the history of the NBA.
Right, at like age 58, he bench pressed 580 pounds or something. All the things that he did that weren't basketball related, the incredible achievements he had on the track field. Like he was, how many times
played volleyball?
Yeah,
he was a volleyball guy. He did all kinds. Yeah, he was. Listen, when they have to change rules for you because you're too good for the game, like that's pretty darn good.
Well put.
Everybody goes, well, what's the key? Right, because an old man like us, you and I, like it was after I was there, but the key looked like a key. Now it's obviously the lane. But that's
now you're cooking.
Bill was too good. So I do get down. I said that in class last week. Like if everybody wants to tell me it's the best and it's the greatest. You better be prepared to show me that, because people say that too often. This is the greatest thing ever. This is the best ever. I don't know. It's I was just at the NCAA track meet this past weekend, and in the 3,000 meter run, a gal from West Virginia won. And I went to visit with her. I knew her a little bit, and as she turned around, I noticed they have a Jerry West patch even on the track uniforms.
Yep.
Right? Like I don't know that people understand how good Jerry West was, or how good Elgin Baylor was, and some of these people. So there are some really good players in the NBA right now, but the idea that the guys before the game has passed them by, or they wouldn't be as effective, is just Will Chamberlain would be good today. Jim Brown would win rushing titles today. So I just this pronouncement that everything we see is the newest and the best and the greatest is not necessarily true. So there's my old man rant of the day to start.
Yeah, nicely done. You got to have more. Have you had a time yet where you got mad at your class? Any of your classes? You teach 2 classes, right? Am I right there?
I'm supposed to. Right now, I just have one. I just have one, and then I spend a bunch of time in other people's classes. No, I have not gotten mad at any of the youngsters yet. Baffled by them, but I have not gotten.
What do you believe is the wisest thing you've told them in your classes to this point?
The one that they seem to have taken to the most is that very is a very, very, very bad word.
Yeah.
Anytime you have to use very as a modifier means there's a better word you could use.
Do you want to use one that's
very dumb?
Yeah, it's great.
If they're very dumb, they're idiotic. If they're very smart, just say they're intelligent.
Excellent.
If you ran very quickly, say they hustled.
So you want to say in Professor 7.2.5's class, you never use the word very, right? You just take it out. You don't use it. Right?
Find a better word.
And I wish to credit a teacher I had as a senior in high school who said the same thing about another word. She said, a lot is a plot of ground. So never use that word for anything unless you mean a plot of ground. Same concept. Mm-hmm. There are other words that are more appropriate and better. I like to use very on Twitter like 8 times. The number of varies I use is an indication of the standard or how amazing it is. Like I would say Wilt Chamberlain was a very, 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 very talented athlete, and I did not say basketball player. I'd like to look up all the track awards he won because there were many.
Some, yeah. I mean, he high jumped well, but I don't know that he was a great long jumper or sprinter. But yeah, he was like he is. He's just athletically he was gifted, and he wasn't just tall, right? We have guys now that average, 6 points a game because they're tall. They can stand under the basket.
He did things that tall people couldn't do. How quick he ran a quarter mile, or the various things. Doesn't mean he was the world's best, but nobody's 7 feet. 7'2" or whatever he was, should be bench pressing 585 pounds at 58 or whatever
Wouldn't it be great
is.
if he was 72.5? That would be great.
Yes, he might be. He might be.
He was 72.5 exactly.
And no, he did not do 10,000 women. I just want to let you know. I believe he said that, and that's one that I know. I had some people do. I had some people do some research. I had some people do some research on that. Jim McIlvaine also told me the greatest thing about Wilt Chamberlain, and he said this once in another story, that he was one of the great drivers ever. Like, he could drive cross country without sleeping. Like, he claimed to somebody he drove from Seattle to New York without sleeping or something. I don't know what it was, but I think it was an exaggeration. But I'll get Jim McIlvaine on. He has stories about how incredible Wilt was in terms of driving from one place to another. I guess without come up with all that info? I don't know, because McIlvaine's a car person. He's obsessed with cars, trucks, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So I'm sure it's some event or when he was playing, because McIlvaine probably has amazing driving stories as well. But yes, I put a list. Yeah, go ahead.
I had to drive around here too. That's how I always tell people how come I got named a captain of the team my senior year, is that I had about 7 or 8 Nigerian teammates. And when we went to, okay, good, you drive the van. You're the captain.
We lost you for a second. Go ahead. Tell us that story again.
So that's I believe that's wholly why I was named a captain of the team here at Missouri my senior year. I don't know that it was outstanding leadership skills, but I had a valid U.S. driver's license, and we had 7 or 8 really great guys from Nigeria. And so they're like, here, Anderson, you're a captain. Here are the keys. Drive everybody to Nebraska.
All right, I have a question about driving as a team member. I had never driven a car 80 miles an hour in my life, and I'm a freshman playing tennis at Wisconsin, and they let the various players would, take turns driving. Yeah. Everybody's driving at least 80. I mean, 84, 86, 90, and I didn't get to 80, and they're making fun of me. True. This isn't a tricycle. Let's go. And so
you're
I was scared.
Up on 80 now, aren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yes, I was scared, and I got up to about 82 or 84. Later in life, I got a speeding ticket doing 94 between Los Angeles and Palm Springs with the members of the Notre Dame tennis team. And the policeman who stopped me said, "Are you okay?" What? He goes, "You've got a parade behind you. Did you notice? They told me when I lived in L.A. you could drive as fast as you wanted between L.A. and Palm Springs."
You just tried it out.
So I just was. I thought you could do it. Sir, no, I had to go back and go to court and plead that I was an ignorant person from Indiana, and they caught me a break. But I think he didn't put down 90 plus, but I know I was doing that because I was going as fast as the car would. I think they put me down for 88. So anyway, would you have any driving stories? I mean, did they let the kids drive that were from Nigeria?
Only once, and that was we ended up having to pull them out of the ditch because it snowed. It wasn't a good call.
I want to know more. What?
When that happened,
he's driving too fast, or what? What happened?
I was literally driving behind them.
Yes.
I don't know if they were going fast. It's just I don't know if you've ever been to Nigeria, but the snowfall count there is usually pretty low. So I don't know that they were just ready.
I know, so I'm curious what he did. Was he sliding back and forth and you're honking going, "Hey!" Or did you just watch it?
I was behind them driving, and then he just started to fishtail, and he didn't know what to do, and he corrected the next thing you know. Luckily he got it slowed down, but it ended up, on its side in the back, and I got to pull everybody out. And then at that point, I drove everybody home, which was, another thing. Yeah, coming home from Nebraska is not a picnic through here. Nebraska City and some of these places is not. It's not the scenic route to anywhere, but there's not much to see.
No, and I don't know if they did when you're driving, but when I first moved to Nebraska and you're on those roads, people wave at you when they go by you going the other direction. I was just amazed by that. I was like, start waving.
So wait, you've been in LA, you've been in Nebraska. Like, where haven't you lived?
I've never spent any time in Maine. Don't really have any interest in. There are probably other states, but the driving. God, I can't. It was one of the. I was so scared driving that car when I had to get over 80. I thought I was going to die or lose control of it, and.
Well,
no. So anyway, all right, let's get back.
What do we got?
Well, we have my question for you because in the NCAA tournament, I really like your coach, Dennis Gates, right? Do I have his first name right? He was at Marquette for 1 year, I believe, as a grad assistant, and then he did very well at Cleveland State. Well, Drake is viewed, they also have a phenomenal coach, as one of the hot tickets and a very, very favorite for an upset as an 11 seed over Missouri. And I don't know, is Gates a good enough coach that he can avoid that upset? Because I always go with coaches first in the NCAA tournament. What do you think is going to happen? Can Gates take care of Drake? They're very good, and their coach is very good. He's moving on.
They play so slow that if you end up playing at the tempo, that's going to be really hard. He should, right? You should be smart enough to figure out a way to, get the other side to move a little bit. What always scares me about Missouri in this game, there's two things. One, we have a penchant for just awful first-round losses. I don't even want to go through how many painful ones there are. But go look at. No, but this is second. It appears to.
I don't even know. Was he the coach last year and you made the tournament or what?
We didn't last year because we went 0-19 in conference. The year before that we did.
Was he the coach last year too, or not?
Yeah, this is his third year.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I should know that.
After his first year, he was so good, people thought maybe Notre Dame was going to pick him off, and you guys went to somebody else. But the problem I have is that Missouri has this penchant for losing. Doesn't matter who the coach is in the first round. Norfolk State, Xavier. There's a bunch of them. And then I worry about teams in the tournament like Drake that are 30-3. The teams are just used to winning, right? That confidence that they're used to winning all the time, I think, is tough to overcome sometimes. You might have a team that's Ken Palm ratings. All the stats say, even though they're 22-11, they should be better than the 30-3 team. But that 30-3 team just is used to winning. They know how to win, and they don't get scared. And so that kind of bothers me a bit more than just Drake in general. Like, just give me any 30-3 team from a mid-major that feels disrespected because they're the 11 and,
2 years ago, you beat Utah State and then got beat by 15th seeded Princeton. How did that happen?
There you go. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
By a kid who shot a million 1,000,003, and his grandfather is a huge donor here at Missouri, of all things.
Wow.
We got, that's what I mean. We got a lot of that in us.
So you haven't convinced me. I'm thinking of taking Drake now for the upset.
I'm not sure you would be wrong on that.
Not just for you. I'm taking Missouri. I can't go against 7-2.5.
How do we feel about Marquette? I thought they were a little low. An 8 was a little low.
No, they were a 7 seed. I thought they should have been a 6 based on how they did early in the year. And people don't understand. It's on your entire body of work. And they had enough. I mean, they beat Maryland. But anyway, New Mexico, coached by Rick Pitino's kid. I know he has a first name, but to me, he's just Rick Pitino's kid. And I think Marquette should handle.
Takes the same thing too, right? If you actually call him by his name, Ricky. Oh, it must be Pitino's kid. So I feel confident about Marquette winning that. But then it's Michigan State, and Michigan State's good. How about because we got the best segment of the day with you and Jason Wilde coming up. So do you have any thoughts on the tournament that you can help people? Because the next time we talk to you, it'll be. I don't know if you have it. Do you have a tournament bracket guy? I'm always looking for a guy. No, so I have 2 thoughts on the tournament and the bracket. One, which is well. First off, you can only do one. Don't give me that you had your blue team bracket or your upset bracket. You get one.
No, you're one of those guys, huh? Okay,
I am. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
can't say I'm surprised.
How does that tell you? You can't pick out and go, oh look, yeah, I had Syracuse. Which one? Well, my
hold on.
bracket
Okay, you and I do this for different reasons. I do this for one reason and one reason only: to win money. Okay, so I have a variety of them. I think I have a better chance for one of them to be hot and win some money versus the principle that you have, which, yes, technically you are correct.
Here's why I can stick to that principle.
Yeah.
I never fill out a bracket.
Really?
I refuse. The last time I did a bracket was 1988. I left school, and I'm in my first newsroom in Tulsa at KTUL, and I put in there, hey, Kansas losing in the first round, because no person with their right mind would ever pick Kansas to win anything. And I just put, long as KU loses, we win, and this will be a better world. And, of course, that was Danny Manning, and they win. They beat everybody, and they won the national championship. I'm like, all right, well, I'm through with that.
It's too bad I didn't know you back then, because I would have helped you. Here's what you should have done every year. Kansas to lose their first game. Missouri to go as far as you want, and all the other games you would call as you thought. And then you'd feel good. Because if Kansas loses the first round, then you're happy.
Which they have before.
I know, but you're happy, right? When I say this, an NCAA tournament, which Kansas loses the first round, you are automatically happy, correct?
It makes me when they lost to Bucknell, I think I bought every shirt in the bookstore and sent them to my friends. It was a big deal. All
right, now the question is, the only thing I have to ask you is
the other part is what happens is my bracket, when I have picked it, is always correct. And then these teams don't live up to the lofty expectations I have for them.
All right.
That bothers me.
The other thing, and I may fill out a John Anderson bracket just for you. Kansas losing the first round. All right. To be comfortable, how far do I have to take Missouri to win the national championship? Or because the worst bracket is if your team does amazingly well and you don't pick them. I mean, there's nothing worse than that. But I don't know how far, for example, this year, in the John Anderson 7.5 bracket, which has never existed before, which I may use, how far would you have Missouri going? Should I pick Missouri to go to the Final Four to win the national championship? Am I required to do that in addition to having Kansas lose their first game? How far do you?
Until our recent drought, where we went a dozen years without going, no team. We have now been passed by BYU and I believe Xavier. No team had ever gone to the tournament more times and won more games without going to a Final Four. Okay. So if you're going to pick them to the Final Four, then you're a bold man.
No, you just answer that. I'm picking them to the Elite Eight. Elite Eight.
That's actually, who do we beat in the second round?
I haven't. Hold on just a second here. Jason Wilde's waiting. Let me see. All right, you play
second round will be Texas Tech or Grand
Canyon. But then you got to beat St. John's to get to the Elite Eight. All right, okay, I like that. Missouri to the Elite Eight, Kansas to lose their first game, and then every other game I will pick as I believe. And all right, Jason Wilde and the Professor John Anderson next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, it looks like things are still slowing down on 43, heading southbound from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette, over the high-rise bridge down to the KK River crossing. On the northbound side, backing up out of the Marquette up towards Keefe. Westbound 94, you've got some backups from 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side slowing down a little bit right past 68th Street to Holly Road, and then again through the stadium as well. Southbound on the bypass, slowing down from the Zoo Interchange down past Greenfield Avenue. A little bit of a heavy ride there. Traffic is brought to you by Snow River Mountain Resort in Michigan's UP. Over 125 inches of pure natural powder this season. Visit snowriver.com to book now. Snow River Mountain Resort, where the snow stays longer and the lines move faster. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, low of 40. Tomorrow, rain and storms likely, mix at night, a high of 53. Weather's brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash. Visit any of their 6 locations in the Milwaukee market today. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com. Wash, chill, repeat. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Will the green and gold rise to the next level, or will they stay in limbo?
I'm in a downer spot as it pertains to the Green Bay Packers. Are they going to be bad? No. Are they going to win a championship? No. Are they going to be somewhere in the middle? Yes. And that just feels like I just did that. I feel like I'm in the same place that I was. They're going to win 9 to 12 games, somewhere in that range.
Get all your Packers predictions here. Kyle Bruston Northman. Weekdays from 2 to 5 on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
TGIM. Thank goodness it's March. Court is in session. Basketball tournament time is the most exciting time of the year. Are you set for tip-off? Get those brackets ready and stock up for all the games with a trip to Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where since 1960, we've been your one-stop shop for everything alcohol-related. With a selection of over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, liquor, and mixers, all at the lowest prices in town, Discount Liquor is sure to make your tournament party a success. So get those brackets together and start the madness. Discount Liquor, 2 locations, Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow in Maine. See all of our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Tourney time is here, and Burnsy's Bar and Grill on 97th and Greenfield is the place to be. 29 TVs to catch all the games, ice-cold drinks, and unbeatable specials. Watch hoops and get $5 call mixers, $6 doubles, $4 shots, and $3 beer specials. Get your grub on while enjoying all of Burnsy's appetizers, each under $10. Dozens of TVs, tons of drink specials, and apps for everyone. It's Burnsy's Bar and Grill on 97th and Greenfield. Don't miss a minute of the action.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $1,000 in cash prizes available. Hey ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a 2-man scramble at TPC Sawgrass, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through March 31st. Your winter chance to play TPC Sawgrass awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, the best segment. You go to WisconsinOnDemand.com, hit Jason Wilde, and you will realize he is on the station more than any other living human. And now Jason Wilde joins the professor, John Anderson, to talk whatever they choose to talk about. Professor, take it away.
Yeah, like Wilde, is the town even open? I don't even know, because the draft isn't there yet, and they don't do anything in free agency. Like, I don't even know. I don't know if Green Bay is open right now.
Well, it's open. There are people on the streets. They don't look like they have anything particularly pressing to do. Myself included. I'm going to return something at the local TJ Maxx. That's my excitement for the evening. But I will say this: you can sense the kind of anticipation building. Like, I drove down Oneida Street yesterday, and they've got the barrels out to start blocking it off so they can start building the stage. Lombardi Avenue will soon be closed. And then the great thing, having, being from here, John, is that what I love about where we live and where most people in Green Bay live is that no matter where you are, you're always 15 minutes away from where you want to go, no matter where you are. Yep. And that is about to change, and it is about to get inconvenient for about a month to 6 weeks because it'll take them a while to also take down everything that they build up. But I had a conversation with somebody the other day who told me that Detroit had 775,000 people descend on the draft, and they are expecting in the 250,000 range. And it's not about how many people, but the quality of the experience that the NFL is insisting upon this being about. So fewer people. I think they're expecting a lot of people to commute every day from Milwaukee or Madison or Chicago or wherever they'll be driving from. So I'm going to be really curious to see just how inconvenienced I am, because right now, Goody and I, who are not usually on the same page, are on the same page about one thing. We're both just worried about how are we going to get into the building, because even though the draft will be going on outside, it's no different than any other draft we've had on the inside of the building.
I am, I'm already, well, first off, I talked to my mother this morning, and some of the people in the old neighborhood I grew up in were complaining about the traffic, and can they get anywhere? I'm like, you're not even, you're a mile from the stadium, and they're already worried about what's happening. I, of course, have arranged parking for our Missouri group literally right across the street at my boy Byron's house. His mom's letting us stay there, so that's pretty exciting. I asked Mark Murphy the other day, which of these is more disastrous for the crowd in Green Bay, Jason, if it snows or if Goody trades out of the first round?
TV loves snow, even in April for the draft, I'm guessing, and the theater will be covered. So, and it's really big. The other thing that I had been told was that it's far larger than the stage and theater area were for Detroit last year. So they'll be fine. I mean, as long as it's not one of those, and I've joked about that too. Like, Sydney's birthday was yesterday, and that's obviously March and St. Patrick's Day. But like, there was one year for her birthday it was 75 degrees. There was another year for her birthday where we got 14 inches of snow. And we've seen April snowstorms. We've had guys that were back here for OTAs, and then they needed people because they weren't good at driving in snow to come get them because they couldn't handle driving in snow in April when we got slammed by a blizzard. So, I did look at this point in April, it has been even more rare for there to be snow. And let's be honest, the last time the Packers traded a first-round pick was for Brett Favre. So I don't think they have to worry about that. But it was funny that Goody said at the Combine that Mark Murphy went out of his way to tell him, hey, if you want to trade the first-round pick, you have my blessing. You don't have to keep it just because we're hosting the draft. I think Goody keeps it because he's so addicted to draft picks. But I think both those things are very unlikely to happen.
This is for you and Homer. Okay.
Oh, wait, I have breaking news. Breaking news. According to a source close to the situation, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers have spoken for the first time in several days. It's unknown what the conversation included or if the progress was made on an answer, but for the first time since what's believed to be last week, there has been contact between Pittsburgh and Rodgers, according to some person who works for Sports Illustrated or something. I
think he had to get on it because Hayward's like, just come or don't come. Like, I love that he's already irritating new teammates. He's not even there, and he's getting riled up. So I have this question though: if in fact you did not have to work draft night, Homer, you too, and you lived in Green Bay, would you offer your house? Would you Airbnb your house for an outrageous amount, and what would you charge people?
Whatever I could. Hell yes.
You'd be like the people at Augusta. You just
here's
$3,000 a night and I'm out.
Right, this is a once in a lifetime. Even if I live to be 150, yes, I'm going to get as much money as I can and spend some time in I don't know,
Manitowoc,
Shawano.
Shawano. How about you, Jace? Can I come stay at your house if you weren't there? Would you bolt? You
are always welcome at my house. See, here's the complicating factor. Now, I've seen these commercials. What are the ones that I don't want to give away free advertising? So there's one that that has what's the
Verbo?
Nick Saban.
Yeah, Verbo or whatever.
Nick Saban
Yes,
is doing a commercial. I think it's for Verbo,
right?
Or maybe it's the other one.
No, it is for Verbo.
One of them. Well, the person that lives there still stays there. And so he's doing this thing where he's like telling them what time it's lights out, and he's in the pool with them. And with 2 dogs, 5 cats, 4 hamsters, and 2 fish tanks, one of them being a saltwater fish tank.
Well, and I want to say I've done Airbnb 20 times in this country and other countries, and that's never even close to occurring. I don't know where they've come up with thinking that's a problem. Yes. Yeah. I love Airbnb. It's fantastic. In fact, I'm using it again in New Orleans in a week.
Wow. This is a side of you I never knew.
It seems like it's great. You have your own place. Well, why would you not do it? That's my only question.
I don't want to live in somebody else's house. Seems weird to me. And
Why?
I definitely don't want people I don't know in my house.
They aren't. Nobody's in their house. That's where I said I don't know where they made this up. I guess if somebody had a duplex and maybe they were having a Airbnb on one side and they lived on the other, I not only have never done it or had that issue, I've never even heard of somebody that ever had that issue. Professor, are you aware of anybody that did Airbnb and the owner was?
Not an Airbnb, but I think there are occasions like that where I know guys who have rented out their basement or their top floor while they stay there. Yeah, that's an occurrence for sure.
Oh, okay. I've never done that.
Wow.
You're willing, so Homer, you're willing to gouge people. Like if you do that, it's like the guy who sells his tickets and he sells them for twice value. You don't ever get to complain that the NFL is trying to rip you off or pro sports is trying to.
And I don't believe I'm ripping people off. I'm charging what people in the area are charging. I'm doing people a service. No, because they see that as a service. If I could get enough, we're in Tosa for the draft. If someone wants to be in Tosa for a few days, sold. It's 2-hour drive.
Everybody who says they're greedy owners, all these greedy owners in the NFL, when they get a chance, they gouge people like badgers.
All right, fine. You two go back to what you were talking about.
How do you ever go on vacation with that kind of zoo that you have, Wildy?
Great question.
Since it's gotten as crowded as it has, and since the girls have so many sports commitments, we have not gone on a full-fledged vacation in a while. I am told that there is a site called Rover, which is like Uber is for rides. They are for pet sitting. So I would like to go back out to Eugene. My best friend, Jason Bellamy, his dad and stepmom that are out there that are kind of the girls' unofficial grandparents. I really want to go out and see them. So I have discussed the idea of using Rover. It's not going to be cheap.
No, Jason, I can help you on this too. I have family experience on this.
Great.
No,
okay.
You, I'm sure, especially if you explore, will find a friend that loves being around pets that will gladly stay in your house and take care of all your pets. I don't think you'd have much difficulty with that. And
I don't know if I have that many friends anymore.
Well,
so
I'm aware that you could easily find somebody. There's so many people that love animals that save you a ton of money, and you would know that the animals would be taken care of nicely. It's not nearly as big a problem as you think.
Okay. Well, Paul and the girls have gone on 2 trips to Florida, and I stayed back with the animals. But I can't. I hate the beach. I hate the beach. I hate sitting around doing nothing, reading a book.
Jason, I agree with you. I've sat on the beach maybe twice in my life. I refuse to do it. I'm with you on that club.
I want to do stuff on vacation.
Yes, I agree. Yep, with you. Join your club. I'm not sure about the Professor Anderson because I don't know if we're going to get salt or sugar. I'll bet as nice as he is, times he spent time on the beach.
No, I have a place on the beach, but I only like the beach if I'm actually in the water, right? I like to actually go in the water.
Yeah.
I'm very much. Although as much as I love to play golf, I think of the old Dan Jenkins quote when they always said, if it breaks away from the mountain and it breaks towards the water, if that's the case, why aren't you at the water or why aren't you at the mountain instead of torturing yourself on the golf course?
That's a great line. That is a great line.
You should be in one of those two places. So I don't mind the beach, but I have to be in the water. I can't just lay there and read my novels with Fabio on the cover. That's just not the way I go about business. Jason, I would listen to him about the pet sitter because this is odd, but the man Homer turned me on to a great goat gal. And so I was able to get some goats for a friend of mine, and it worked out great. So I would trust him when he says he's got a pet guy.
By the way, they love you. Just so you know. They might not know who you are. But everybody
loves him. But wait a minute. You're telling me that you've got a goat guy?
Yes, he's got a goat guy. I have a goat lady, actually, because they help people in Haiti. And to people in Haiti, the best thing you can do for them is to get them a goat. And so they started purchasing people goats. And then, of course, 7'2.5" John Anderson has a friend that he referred to as the GOAT because of brilliance in track and field. And so in honor of that individual, I don't know how many goats. I don't know if he bought one or how many. He purchased goats, and I got a nice letter that they had sent to 7'2.5", thanking him for helping people. So
wait. So you did not take possession of said goats. You bought goats for Haitian people.
In this guy's name, and he's the Olympic champion in the hurdles, and it's Grant Holloway. And so because kind of the standard is 13 seconds, so I donated 13 goats.
Yeah.
To which Grant's
and
like,
how much?
He said,
how much does each goat cost?
1281. Wait, he said, I ran 1281, and I'm like, dude, you can't buy 0.8 of a goat.
not even in Haiti. Not even in Haiti. Excellent point.
So I apologize that I rounded up. I don't mean to insult you, but I get you've run 1281, but I could not just get could you just do you have a 3-legged goat that you could send down there to these people?
I think that's possible. No. I think it's possible you get a 3-legged goat. I'll check with them the next time we have the event.
I got him goats because Homer had a goat gal, and I called her.
That is a great. I would like to get a goat for the people of Haiti. What's that going to cost?
I think the goats are $100 a goat. What?
$60.
$60. All right. They charge me $100. Right. Tells me they like you more than me. We don't want your goats, Homer. They're $100.
We gave him enough to cover the goats and then some.
Well, I'll be glad to pass you the information, Jason, so you can be goat.
Please do.
You can be goat aware. All right, before we close here, Jason, any update on Jair Alexander?
No, and I thought it was really interesting. We obviously think Rob Domofsky does a fantastic job, and he did his piece on Nate Hobbs. We all took different angles. It was interesting, I think it was Matt Steinman from The Athletic took the mom angle. Rob took a more direct angle about the football aspect. I reached out to Charles Woodson because he's going to be wearing Woodson's number. So we all found different things that Nate Hobbs said interesting. But the most interesting thing of any of our stories was Rob's update from multiple sources, one close to Jair and then one within the organization, which that it's something the Packers want out there then, because they do not want unnamed sources ever that say team source, that they're still trying to trade Jair. They want it out there that he's still available via trade and that they're not in a rush to give up and just release him. So I thought that was really, really, really interesting. I know I told you guys weeks ago that there is no roster bonus, unlike a lot of other contracts that usually are built in specifically to force teams to make decisions on keeping players. Agents like those because they either force them to be released so they can hit the market in time for free agency, or they get a big check. And if you don't have one of those, then you're in a situation like Jair, where you are basically sitting here and waiting to see what the Packers are going to do with you.
I believe the dog would like Jason to be done now.
No, she's unhappy that these people in the TJ Maxx parking lot dared to come and get in their car next to us while I was doing the radio.
Thanks, Jason. We'll work on the go.
Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. Gruber Law Offices, Thanasis Live is back March 29th at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Join Thanasis for a live show that's going to entertain fans like none other. Last year, he surprised Giannis with a surprise appearance from Stephen A. Smith. So he's got to do something this year, and I'm confident Thanasis will. So you never know what Thanasis is planned for 2025, March 29th at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More with the GOAT Man, 7-2.5, John Anderson next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound 43, a really kind of a heavy ride, leaving the Marquette all the way up towards Keefe. So give yourself some extra time there. Southbound, we're seeing some delays right at North Avenue all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94 has got some heavy traffic from 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound backing up from 68th Street all the way through to 35th. A little bit of a heavy ride as well on the bypass, specifically right through the Hale Interchange from just south of Beloit Road to about 92nd Street. Traffic is brought to you by Adams, the #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. Severe weather has arrived. Don't be left with no power. For power peace of mind for your home or business, visit adamspower.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 40. Then tomorrow, rain and storms likely, a mix at night with a high of 53. Weather is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
So many of our youth carry unimaginable burdens. Anger, depression, even thoughts of suicide. At Rawhide Youth Services, we recognize their pain. We help them find hope and healing. For those that need a second chance at life, we refuse to give up on them. Please be a part of our life-saving work. When you donate your used vehicle to Rawhide, you're helping change the lives of countless youth in our communities. Go to rawhide.org/donate and help them realize a brighter future today.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sportsbook, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
The wait is over. Brewers baseball is back. Time to pick your Brewers games and get back to the ballpark for tailgate traditions and walk-off wins. Be here for opening day. Come back for the big games and the best giveaways. Where else would you want to be? Brewers tickets for the 2025 season are on sale now. That's opening day and every game, all summer long. Get on board for the show today. Grab your seats at brewers.com/ticket finder.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family.
caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
It is time for me to discuss time, just a half hour south of Franklin, if you want to be specific, 38 minutes. American Place Casino, located in Lake County, Illinois. Great table games, great slot machines, great sports book, all kinds of food, great bars and restaurants. Latest promotions and events, AmericanPlaceCasino.com. I say all those things once. This I say many, many, many times. American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin. If you want to be a pain, specific 38 minutes. American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin, or specifically if you want 38 minutes. And American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin, or exactly 38 minutes if you want to be a pain. It is the John Anderson Homer Hour. We now have our question. Look forward to your answer. The Discount Liquor Twitter poll question. Will Aaron Rodgers play for the Vikings this coming season? I don't like to talk about Aaron Rodgers. I don't care to. He's dead to me, but everything's important as it relates to the Green Bay Packers. And if he plays for the Minnesota Vikings, then his play becomes very important because it affects the Packers. John Anderson, will Aaron Rodgers play for the Vikings this coming season?
I don't think so.
All right. 57% agree with you. 43% say he will. Go ahead and finish. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, I don't know that I have that rooted in any fact. I just think that, the continued tracing the path of Brett Favre, I don't think is a great look for him. It might be the only place to go.
Would it not be amazing? Would it not be more amazing than Green Bay having the NFL draft? That they would have exactly the same career after Green Bay, right?
The second that happened, I would check to see if he's illegally built Cal a volleyball gym. Just to know everything else.
I'm not sure everybody understands that, and there's a whole lot there beyond just the volleyball. Yes. So you better look that up on Google, right, because I don't necessarily want to go there.
I thought there you go.
That
that
is heavy salt. That is heavy salt.
To see if he called Gavin Newsom to see if he could get a volleyball court for Cal up there. And he wouldn't. He didn't like Cal, right? That's another one on his list. So he'd have to go to whatever it was.
I'm not sure about that. I was under the impression that he wanted to graduate, and they would not let him take classes elsewhere. They have rules about, and I think Stanford had the same such rules regarding Tiger Woods. But I need to get that verified. Like, you have to do it a certain way. We don't care who you are. So if I'm wrong, the Institute might let me know.
Brad Pitt's 2 hours short of his degree here and his journalism degree here at Missouri, and they will not. They've tried to make a lot of avenues for him to get it done, and he will not finish. And so these things happen.
But would they require him to come back to Missouri's campus, or could he go somewhere else?
No, it's not even that. They're like, here, can you get yourself like a production credit on some film and these other things? So no, they've made it easy. He just doesn't want to, whatever reason they can't.
I don't think they've made it easy for either Tiger Woods or Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know that. The Vikings coach clearly knows what he's doing with quarterback. I don't know. Do you want that headache? I think that's really like, am I going to induce that? Because that is a season long, every day. That is, that's an all day, everyday sucker, and that's an everlasting gobstopper. And do you want that thing every day around your building?
I can answer that. Yes, if I don't think McCarthy is ready, and I want to give him an extra year.
Yeah, but I just think that's
right.
That is, you know what that is, Homer? That's a lot.
You have to go to WisconsinOnDemand.com and listen to earlier parts of the show. If you were him, you would not do it. If I was him, I would do it.
Yeah. Why?
But I'm correct. No, for what I said.
I don't think he's out there. Like, I think a part of Favre wanted the Vikings to stick it to the Packers.
Yes.
I don't believe that Aaron's got that. Of all the things that are happening, I don't think he wants to stick it to the Packers.
I agree. He just wants to stick it to the world and prove that he can still play. Well, all he cares about is himself.
Yeah, there is some time out. There is some spots.
But I'm not going to go crazy on this, because I think it's fair to say I don't want him as a player. I'm not sure that he's that good, and I'd rather use the year for the development of McCarthy.
Yeah, and I think is it what are they? Why is the coach's name escaping me? It's not Stefanski. It's
Scanlon. What's the guy's? What's the head coach of the Vikings? The offensive
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell. There it was.
I was close. Scanton's right next to O'Connell. All right, we'll take a break.
I think he's good enough. Like, he's shown what he can do with different guys. And I don't know that you. And again, I don't. It's not that I think he can play where. I just think there are better spots for him to land. Not a ton of them anymore. He's gotten rid of that.
Pittsburgh would be fine. Pittsburgh makes sense.
And I think he and Mike Tomlin get along. I don't remember that the Steelers were there a few years ago. I know because I went to the game with Television's John Bucci-Gross. And remember, Aaron tried to get the snap off because there were 12 guys on the field, and Tomlin beat him to it, and he called the timeout. And they looked at each other, and Aaron gave him a wink, and Tomlin gave him a nod. Like, I think they could get along. I think Tomlin would be no nonsense enough, and I think Aaron's okay with that. I don't know that he minds totally being coached. I just think the last place they gave him
I'll defer to whatever you say about him because I have no idea what he thinks. I have no idea who he is anymore. Saganiac Planning, named synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service, and they can help you understand confusing insurance decisions because they've been doing it well for over 50 years, and they're the perfect size. Small enough to handle your needs with special attention and large enough to have the clout to make it happen. They have to be large enough so they have enough people so that when they deal with the companies, those companies have to treat Saganiac Planning right because they know how many people are with Saganiac Planning. Yet, you have to be small enough to handle your needs with special attention. Saganiac Planning, remember, 783-262-783. Roger Maris, 6161. Fourth quarter, 2-minute drill. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I always loved the line, I'm not here to prove them wrong. I'm here to prove us right.
But that's from a non-petty person. A petty person would never say that.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Is that why Tom Petty was playing when you came back on?
Yeah, that's Matchbox 20.
Kurt Petty.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Tourney time is here, and Burnsy's Bar and Grill on 97th and Greenfield is the place to be. 29 TVs to catch all the games, ice-cold drinks, and unbeatable specials. Watch hoops and get $5 call mixers, $6 doubles, $4 shots, and $3 beer specials. Get your grub on while enjoying all of Burnsy's appetizers, each under $10. Dozens of TVs, tons of drink specials, and apps for everyone. It's Burnsy's Bar and Grill on 97th and Greenfield. Don't miss a minute of the action.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
TGIM. Thank goodness it's March. Court is in session. Basketball tournament time is the most exciting time of the year. Are you set for tip-off? Get those brackets ready and stock up for all the games with a trip to Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where since 1960, we've been your one-stop shop for everything alcohol-related. With a selection of over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, liquor, and mixers, all at the lowest prices in town, Discount Liquor is sure to make your tournament party a success. So get those brackets together and start the madness. Discount Liquor, 2 locations, Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow in Maine. See all of our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Norman, and you may be wondering if you are a good candidate for QC Kinetics. If you're having pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, maybe having trouble sleeping or doing the things that you love doing, then yes, you could be a great candidate for QC Kinetics and the regenerative medicine. I know when I went to QC Kinetics and saw everything they have with my own 2 eyes, I was blown away at the tools in their toolkit to make sure that you get your life back. PRP, platelets, plasma, and they have so much they can do to give you your life back. From all the testimonials I've heard and from what I've seen with my own 2 eyes, it is unbelievable to see the before and after impact of QC Kinetics and their regenerative medicine. So don't wait any longer. Finally, get your life back as spring is unfolding. Get your free consultation today with QC Kinetics at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is the athletes and the Wauwatosa East girls basketball team winning their first WIAA basketball title since 1981. The squad, however, was led by one particular player, Micaiah Litza, scoring 32 points and grabbing another 9 boards plus 5 steals, helping lead a overtime thriller of a victory 59-58 over Edgewood in that state victory. And not to be forgotten, it was the 100th career win for head coach Mary Merg of Tosa East High School. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athletes of the Week, the championship Tosa East girls basketball team.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Can't wait to hear how the professor will follow this. Higher Love, the only UP cultivator offering organic, clean, green, certified products, which means you can count them to provide only the good stuff, none of the bad stuff, less than an hour from Green Bay. Draft day is approaching, and whether you're watching every pick or just there for the party, Higher Love is everything you need to elevate your draft experience. I wonder if I can say this. As the best in the Midwest, Higher Love offers largest selection of organic, clean, green, certified products at unbeatable value, making them the can't-miss top pick. And joining us now is the professor. Yeah, you feel free to follow that in any way you'd like. I wondered if there's any team or coach or player in the NCAA tournament that you like or root for. We know you want Kansas to lose, but...
Well, first off of that, I'd love to see Laramie Tunsil be doing stuff for the Higher Love people with the Jazz mascot from Ole Miss. That would be great. The only basketball people I'm rooting for right now is Bonduelle. Close to Green Bay, they're like 27-1. They got a chance to win a state championship. That's who I'm behind right now.
Have they ever won one before? Bonduelle, have they ever done one to your experience?
That I do not know.
Wow.
I just know they're close to home and they're really good. So because with Tomasky to get out of the tournament, who am I rooting for in my life?
You should root for them. It's forever if you can pull it off. Nicely done. The professor, he went with a little sugar instead of salt to close it out. Yeah. Next, National ESPN.
Delays on northbound 43 heading out